Meeting April 17th, 2018 to order. Roll call, please, Pat.
Jeffrey Pope.
Present.
Deborah Bush.
Here.
Sheriff Dumont.
Here.
Derek Gander.
Present.
Brent Gordon.
Present.
Jennifer Martucci.
Here.
And Lori Messer.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. You've got the agenda before you. There's one item that needs to be pulled off, and that's item M3E. That is the EDA grant. It is not quite ready. Are there any other changes necessary to the agenda? If not,
I'll move that we approve the agenda as presented with the one amendment.
I'll second that.
all right, motion by Sherrick, second by Deborah. Please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, that motion passes. Okay, next up, Dr. Moss.
Okay, I want to make a presentation
Okay.
to you and appreciate your service to our school board. And we have a plaque, which I believe was etched at our own Franklin Tech Center, yes? And it is to appreciate your leadership on the Joplin Schools Board of Education. I also have for you your lifetime activities pass
right.
so that you
There
can
you go.
continue to support your Eagles and come to
Yep.
any of our activities you should choose. And I
Well,
thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. With 3 kids still in school, I'm sure I will be at a game or activity that I can make good use of that. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the community, teachers, the staff, the administration for being so welcoming to me. I've learned a lot during my time working with the people in the district and will continue to support those same people trying to make improvements. A great deal of change has occurred over the last 3 years, and I feel that the district's on a good path. There's always more work to be done, but there's a great team assembled, and I look forward to watching that change. And again, thank you for the opportunity to serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Sure. Okay. Next up, Dr. Moss.
Yes, I have the certification of the April 3rd Board of Election results that have been received from county clerks of Jasper and Newton counties, electing Ms. Lori Messer and Debbie Fort to our board. Administration recommends the board accept the election results as certified by the county clerks of Jasper and Newton counties.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All right. Motion by Sherrick, second by Jennifer. Please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, that motion passes. Next, I would move that we adjourn Sendine.
I'll second.
I made the motion. Derek second. Please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. We're adjourned. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. And our next item of business is to swear in our new board members. And Pat, I believe you take care of that for us.
And Lori and Dr. Ford, would you like to come up here? I'm not sure where to have you stand, just right here. I'll have you raise your right hand. And I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Missouri, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of school director in and for Joplin Schools, County of Jasper, State of Missouri, to the best of my ability, according to law. Very good. If you sign here, right here, it will be official.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
And our next order of business will be to elect a Board of Education. Well, first I have to call it to order, it looks like, the annual board organization meeting to order. So And I'm opening the floor for nominations of Board President. Nominations are now in order for the
Sherry, come
office
on.
of Board President.
If you entertain that.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask who was interested, because I had no clue who was, are you
I think
interested?
we're giving him a choice.
We're not giving them a choice.
No, I think you'd be a great leader.
Thank you, Derek.
Very welcome.
Okay, Sherrick is nominated. Are there any further nominations for Board President?
Mr. Jordan, would you be interested?
No, I
Vice President?
concur. I think he would be an excellent candidate and great leader.
Are you interested, Sharon?
I'll serve.
Okay, so all nominations are received and noted. So I will call for a vote on the nominee of Board President in the order nominated, which it would appear we have one.
It's going to be really embarrassing if this
Get your water in.
So for the record, do we need to take a vote since we have
I
one?
think you do. Yes.
Okay. Jennifer?
Yes.
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 Abstain?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
So the next, I will open the floor for nomination for Board Vice President.
I'd nominate Brent. Brent, would you be interested?
Sure.
I think that'd make a great leadership team. Unless someone else, any other?
Debbie nominated somebody.
Oh,
I didn't, I'm sorry. Okay. So we have a nomination for Brent Jordan and a nomination for Jennifer Martucci. Are there any further nominations? Okay. So roll call vote for Brent Jordan as Vice President.
No.
yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Okay, so that leaves 4 votes, if I counted correctly. Okay, congratulations, Brent.
Thank you.
Okay, so next, the new board president will come up and preside over the remainder of the meeting. Sure.
Oh. Thank you.
Okay, the next would be the committee assignments.
Yeah, I guess we need to go through the committee assignments. That's next. The committees, we have a policy committee, we have a finance, salary, and benefits committee, safety and data committees. And I know that all of us are already signed to those committees. Does anybody have any ideas as to what they would like to serve on in the coming year?
I would like to be on safety.
Great. So Deb would like to be on safety.
I'd like to continue on data.
Data for Lori. I'm going to assume that Pat or somebody's writing.
And I'm writing them down too, so we got 2 people.
And I'd like to stay on policy.
Okay.
You know, there's a couple of committees that we often serve. We serve on multiple committees, so don't hesitate to speak up for more than one position.
I prefer to stay on the committees I'm on. I'm on policy and budget and salary committee.
Okay.
I'd like to stay on those.
Got it duly noted.
I too would like to continue my service on the committees that I'm on. I'm on the data as well as the safety committees. I also, just to let everybody know, serve as the liaison to the foundation board.
I'm also on the health advisory committee that we're doing the benefits for employees. I'd like to stay on that.
can't imagine anybody gets denied for their requests. I think we just want to make sure everybody's serving on multiple committees.
Right, and we can have more than one up to a certain number.
How many are on safety?
There have been 3. Lori, I know, and Deb just asked to come on and.
Oh, and Derek.
I was, but I'm not able to dedicate the time, extra meetings.
I'll continue on safety.
Great.
Okay, so that's 3 on safety. And then we have Jennifer on finance. I think
That's a
you've
biggie.
been on
That's
finance.
3 for me, unless I trade that for data. I can stay on finance and go off data.
Whichever you prefer.
I can go off data and go on finance.
Are you okay
That'd be
with that?
good.
Yep.
Okay,
That'd be good.
perfect.
Okay, so I'll put you down with Jennifer on
That's great.
finance. Okay.
And Brent's on that one as well.
And I'm on the finance and the policy committee, and I'd be happy to serve with both as well,
Okay.
so if there's still a need.
Have we filled it up, Doctor?
I think we're good. Now, we could put someone else on data if we wanted to.
Am I the only one on there now?
Right now, you're the only one.
Oh, I can flip back to that if I need to. I don't want to serve on 3 committees. I just don't have
I
the
can
time.
No,
on
I took you
data.
off data.
Yeah, but I believe
go
that
on
Jeff
data.
used to serve on data.
You want on data?
Yeah,
Okay,
I like that.
cool.
Okay, so we have at least 2 and 3, or 3 on each committee. So, excellent.
Thank you, Doctor. That takes us to our reports.
Yes, and we have a lot of celebrations tonight, and we've got a lot to put up on the screen. It's spring, and a lot of contests and things are happening, and they're all good things, and we want to recognize our accomplishments. So the first thing that we have to talk about are our power lifters, and I believe Coach Linden is here. And I have so many certificates that he is going to help me recognize his state champions for the 2nd year with these young men that were boys powerlifting. So have them come up, we'll give them their certificates and we'll get photos.
They're the really good dressed ones in the back.
Well, a lot of these, I think, just came straight from track. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct.
So thank you for hustling over here. And then here are your girls
Yep.
powerlifting.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about what they did.
Okay, well, this is our 4th year of powerlifting, which means these seniors have done it. It didn't exist 4 years ago, and in that time we've won state twice, back to back for the boys. And our girls, who finished 2nd, is really impressive because we only had 8 lifters. So the max you can have is 8. So we literally take every single score. So it's genuinely a true effort. Plus, something that's pretty cool about it is it's sort of like wrestling. You need lightweights, middleweight, and heavyweight, and it is a big time team effort. A lot of these kids do multiple sports. It's Saturdays. It's not, you don't get out of school or anything like that. And so it's our motto is doing, not saying, and these guys live it, which is just awesome. The seniors are here today. There's about 60 kids on average that come and they do it. And state tournament was in Springfield, Missouri, and so just a lot to be proud of. More than just being great lifters, they're just awesome kids. So we're gonna miss them for sure. So, Jared. Van. Shuey was an individual state champ. He's also the handsome one on the team.
Don't smile.
Oh, well, just a sec, don't show him that. Burlington. He's not here. Okay. And it's really, really cool to have girls do this because there's a stigma about it, which isn't true, but there's a stigma that goes with it, and these girls are extra special. So, good job. I got one. There you go.
There. Thank you, guys.
It's exciting.
Thank you guys. Graduating board meeting.
And we have many more. I think we have next up quite a bit that takes into effect our Franklin Tech Center, our welding and different FBLA, and even some Skills USA. So to help me with that, Dave Rockers, there he is. He's going to come up and tell us about these awards and recognize these fine students. So here's your welding, and then I've got FBLA and Skills here. I'll hold it.
I'll call Mr. Noah up here first for our welders. Our welders recently competed in a competition here a couple Saturdays ago when it was sleeting and icing. They skated their way to Springfield, to Midwest Technical Institute. And how many schools competed? 7 schools, 20-some students. And we dominated. We had 5 of the top 6 placers at the welding competition. I'll have Mr. Noah talk about the individual winners that are here and the scholarships that they were attached to. And we've had Midwest Technical Institute come back to school and interview some students. And so there's some awful good news to announce from that goes along with this.
Go Wallace. He won first place and received a $10,000 scholarship. Wow. Matt won second place and received a $5,000 scholarship. Mr. Michael Best. He won 4th place. Did a fine job, and I'm really proud of him. The other 2 gentlemen couldn't be here with us because they're working tonight. Nick Wolf and Max Thomas, both from Webb City. These 2 gentlemen are here from Joplin. So you have to remember that when you talk about Franklin Tech, we are not just Joplin. We are an area technical school, and I'm probably taking what Mr. Walker is going to say, but we serve Carl Junction, Webb City, Stocoxie, College Heights, all together. So we have a very diversified group whenever you talk about Franklin Technology Center. Last but not least, I guess, is that where we're going with this? Yeah. Mr. Cole Wallace, he, after a scholarship interview, he received a complete full ride to MTI.
So we need a photo.
That's impressive.
Very impressive.
Congratulations.
Good job, you guys.
I'll ask Alan Linden to come back up. He's going to represent the FBLA for us today. And he has some students that we want to recognize. This is a busy time of year at Franklin Tech and Joplin High School both. It's competition season, and we had several students with our Future Business Leaders of America, which is a Franklin Tech and Joplin High School organization, compete recently, and I think we had 5 national qualifiers. And that's coming on with us here tonight, so you can tell about what they competed in.
Okay, well, they competed in FBLA, which was at state in Springfield. Lauren Fogarty and Brendan Beck are not here, and they're not going on the national? Lauren is, okay. Sorry, I'm actually the DECA advisor, so. Anyways, but Gretchen Roll and Lauren James both qualified in marketing and will be representing us at Baltimore at the end of June. So it's very exciting. One thing I will tell you is that they both also qualified, or excuse me, made it to state in DECA as well. So just again, awesome kids that are super well-rounded and representing us really well.
Deanna Anderson come up and talk about Skills USA. Skills USA just recently competed at the state contest, and we had some students qualified for nationals, and then after returning, we found out we've got a couple other students that will be attending nationals. We received the special recognition that I'll have Miss Anderson talk to you about. Second time in 3 years that we've received it. We're very proud of it.
So we had 5 young people medal at the state competition. We took 29 young people with us, and of those who competed, we had remarkable numbers just in 4th place. 66% of those students scored in the top 10 of the state. So we're very proud of them. 2 of them have qualified to go to nationals, and they're Ryan Allen, and Brooklyn Robertson. Both of these are in the collision repair program, and they will be qualified to go. Brooklyn is going to get to go. Ryan is not going to get to go because he is signed up for military service. And so, he's in a special unit, and he couldn't get his date changed. So if he did, he would miss a unit, and so he's going to choose to go on and serve. Thank you.
Thank you for
We also have 2 young people who are going to represent us for the Model of Excellence. 3 young people. Come on. 3 of you. Come on. A little shy.
They make presentations, but they're shy on stage.
Just don't give them the mic. You can't get them off the stage. So Lucas Stander is our district president as well as on our leadership team. Carly Short is our district parliamentarian and also on our leadership team. And Josh Berrien is also on our leadership team. And Josh and Carly will be going to Louisville at the end of June with Ms. Robertson. And we will be competing again for a Model of Excellence. So what that is there's 24 chapters in the entire United States that are selected as Model of Excellence candidates, and there's another competition to narrow that down to the top model. So we're one of 8 considered for the personal workplace skills. We have a framework that we work on, and that framework supports our mission. And that framework has 3 legs of it, a trifecta, if you will. And it is personal skills, workplace skills, and technical skills grounded in academics. And that really is our focus for every single thing we do. And so our motto this year is Job Ready Day 1, and that's what we're working very hard for.
And I might say the student organizations that are involved with Franklin Tech programs, we've represented a few of them here tonight. FFA, most of you are familiar with FFA. We have DACA, TSA, which is the technology students. And all of those organizations kind of have as their core developing leadership, developing a civic mindedness, social intelligence, as well as learning more about their individual careers. So we're proud of what our students have done. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next I think we have sponsor Carissa Boyer. Where's Carissa? There you are. And she is going to talk to us about the MSSU Regional Science Fair and some particularly impressive placers. We have those certificates, so I'll let you speak to that.
Okay. So we've had the science research class for 5 years now at Joplin High School. I've been the sponsor for 4, and this is the 4th year we've made it to international. So it's kind of a big deal. Savannah Huff and Phoebe Watson, 2 of my research students, have agreed to come actually give just a quick overview of their projects. I wanted to kind of illustrate how in-depth some of these projects get. And it was all over the board this year. I had microbiology projects. We actually had our first vertebrate projects, which takes special consideration and paperwork and so on. We had mice in my lab at one point. We had fish in the lab at one point. Lots of microbiology, some chemistry, some plant projects, and so on. But at the regional science fair, we took grand prize, and then we also took third, fourth, and fifth. And most of the first place categories went to Joplin High School students as well. All 12 of them, I didn't think we would have time, so I didn't invite all 12, but I do want to recognize Carly, who was just up here with skills. Carly is one of 4 students that qualified for state. At the science fair, there's 2 competitions. There's the International Science and Engineering Fair portion, which is what these ladies are going to kind of illustrate what they do as far as the posters and the projects. Carly did that as well, but then also in the afternoon they have to present a 10-minute to 12-minute speech and talk about a project. And 4 of my students qualified for state. Over half of them got 1 ratings, and Carly is able to go to state. Savannah Huff qualified for state, but unfortunately it's the same time as Constitution team, is traveling to Washington, D.C. And then the other, and there's another one that's, I just lost my train of thought. Sam Peterson, who is a sophomore, who's the first sophomore underclassman that we've had in the class, has qualified for state as well. So I will be taking 2 of them to state, which this year's up at S&T, and we will be going at the end of April. And then Savannah and I will travel the last full week of school. She actually finishes as a senior, and then we load up on a plane and we fly out, and we go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania this year for a week, and so she'll compete at the international level. The International Science Fair goes from regional straight to international. It's kind of weird. So we don't have state, we don't have national, we just jump straight there. So these 2 ladies are going to tell you a little bit about the project. Savannah, since you're our grand prize winner and our senior, why don't you go first? Is that microphone?
Hello?
Can she set me up in here?
It'll broadcast so the TV can hear you. So.
Okay.
It's just not going over the speaker.
We want to be able to hear.
It's working, it's just not going over the speakers.
Let the musician work at it. He knows microphones.
It's okay.
Just whack it on your leg.
Steve, it's okay.
Thank you.
They're getting it on the...
Oh, okay.
Okay, my name is Savannah Huff. I am a senior in high school, and my project is neutralizing free radicals with oxynitrite using antioxidants. And I have the pleasure of condensing 8 months worth of research without 4 minutes. So, looking at it, it looks like a lot of chemistry stuff, but it's really the chemistry behind traumatic brain injuries and concussions. So, after listening to having 3 concussions, this is what I kind of wanted to focus my research on this year. Just because it's such a relevant issue that's in the United States right now. 3.8 million people have sport-related concussions every year. This is not counting car accidents or falls or anything like that. 1 in 14 high school football players have begun receiving CTE, and 99% of NFL families who have relatives that have passed away when they were in the NFL and they donated their bodies to science have CTE also. And a concussion is just when your brain moves through the cerebrospinal fluid in your skull that acts as a cushion and hits your skull directly, which causes free radicals to be produced in your brain. And free radicals are oxidizing agents, which means they're missing an electron. So they try and they take an electron from your brain cell membrane, which kills your brain cells, and that's why people have memory loss, disorientation, depression, and the common symptoms of a concussion. So my thought was that antioxidants that have an extra electron will be able to donate to the free radical to keep it from taking an electron from the brain cell membrane. So that was my project. I used 3 different types of antioxidants. I used lipoic acid, glutathione, and vitamin D3. All of them because they have specific properties that I thought would help with a traumatic brain injury. So glutathione is an antioxidant that has the potential to prevent the damage. vitamin D3 aids in the repair of DNA and cell membranes, and lipoic acid helps regenerate other antioxidants in the body. So my hypothesis was that lipoic acid would work the best. So what I did, the process in which a free radical takes an electron from a healthy brain cell membrane produces a chemical called malondialdehyde, which is also called MDA. And so there's no way to measure the amount of free radicals exactly in the body because nobody said, hey, drill into my skull and count all the free radicals after I get a concussion. It just doesn't happen. So I am able to measure the amount of the byproduct of the electron exchange, and that is what these little glass bottles are right here. They're malondialdehyde indicators. And so what I did was I simulated a concussion with chemicals. So I used irrationalic acid to simulate a healthy brain cell membrane because it's the lipid primarily found in brain cell membranes. And my free radical was peroxynitrite, which you see in my title. And that is free radical produced specifically with traumatic brain injuries and concussions. And then, again, my 3 antioxidants. So I had 4 groups total, and I had a control group, so I had my 3 antioxidants in control. And down here, I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a color scale. So the darker the color of the test liquid right here, the more severe the simulated brain injury was. So this is my control, and you can see it over a period of 30 minutes because within 30 minutes, 64% of brain cell death occurs. So in 30 minutes, it turned dark purple, which means it has the most severe lipid oxidation, which means more of this process of the free radical taking an electron from the brain cell membrane was happening. And then up here is one of my antioxidants. This one was glutathione. So you can see the dramatic difference between the 30 minutes, that's as dark as it got with the glutathione. And so in the end, all of my antioxidants worked really well. The best one was lipoic acid, which supported my hypothesis. And basically, because of this information, it can be used in the future to create a medication for concussions or traumatic brain injuries. My project didn't really focus on how it was administered, but if it would work in the first place. So I plan on continuing this research in the future in college. My ideas for administering it would be through an IV or a topical type of medication, but there's nothing that's been invented yet that helps things absorb through bone, but that's what I would like to research in the future. And it can be used for Alzheimer's, dementia, CTE especially, concussions, and CTE also is caused by repeated concussions. So I think this would be very important in the future in the medical field, and I plan to go into neurology in the future, so I am very excited about this research.
That's awesome. She was born with it. That's awesome. Man, that's a lot of work. That was so cool, though.
I'm going to turn it over to Phoebe. Just kind of as a quick joke. We went last week to PSU research colloquium, and we had some winners there, but the wind got the best of some of these boards. So Phoebe had a little challenge on loading hers. So turn it over to her.
Okay, so to address the bins in my board, I actually ended up chasing my board 2 blocks down the street because it flew away because it was so windy. So just a side note. But my project was entitled The Effect of Herbal Treatments on Staphylococcus epidermidis, Staphylococcus aureus subspecies aureus, and Malassezia globosa in atopic dermatitis. I know that's a lot of complicated words, but essentially what that means is I took the 3 different bacteria / yeast involved in atopic dermatitis, which is the most common type of eczema. I found out that I had eczema September of this year, which is kind of odd for a 16-year-old to be finding out that they have a condition that's normally found in 5-year-olds. But I found out that I had that, and I knew that I wanted to do something that affected a lot of people. And after doing some initial research, I found out that atopic dermatitis affects roughly 28 million people just in the United States alone. And that's a really large statistic. So after I found out what 3 bacteria / yeast, Malassezia globosa is a yeast, whereas Staph epidermidis and Staph aureus are both bacteria. I took those 3 bacteria and yeast, and I knew that I wanted to find herbal treatments because the only treatment for eczema right now are topical and oral steroids, which are really harsh on the skin and harsh on the body. overall, not a great situation for eczema patients. It's changing how their skin feels, and overall, not a great option. So I took 4 different herbal treatments, oregano, German chamomile, and thyme essential oils, and apple cider vinegar, and I diluted them in coconut oil because in a real-life application, you would dilute it into a lotion and just apply it topically to the skin. But coconut oil keeps it liquid, so I could apply it onto my agar plates. And I took the bacteria, and I swabbed it onto the agar plates, and then I placed the different treatments onto the different paper discs, which was used to treat the bacteria. And I measured that in zones of inhibition, which is just where the bacteria doesn't grow. And all of my treatments worked really well, which is really exciting. So anyone could use them on their skin. But more specifically, oregano and thyme essential oil worked the best. And it's highly accessible, not super expensive, and easy to put into lotion, which is really nice for eczema patients to know that they have other options. And essentially, what I'd like to do is see if different, the different dilution oil, which I use coconut oil, affects the growth of the bacteria, because I don't think that it did. It shouldn't, but it would be interesting to see if different oils affected the growth of the bacteria. But yeah. So I will be a 2-year research student. I will be, because I am a junior, so I will be doing research again next year. This class was one of the highlights of my year for sure. It's really exciting that we get to do research that most people don't get the opportunity to do until college, and so I'm really thankful for this opportunity. I'm thankful for Sport for giving us this opportunity, because I found something that I'm really passionate about, and I'm really excited about that. So, thank you.
Nice job, ladies.
Very good job.
Okay, and last but not least, we have some recognitions to be made on behalf of our Joplin Schools Foundation. And I'm beginning that Laurie Turner and Kim Woodard are going to come forward and help me with this portion. We're going to talk about Joplin School Foundation grants, and we're also going to talk about then something else that the Joplin School Foundation helps us fund, and that is our support staff of the year and our teacher of the year. But we're going to talk about grants first. And we have some photos of the what we affectionately call the Grant Prize Patrol this Monday of this week. And these are pictures of our Joplin School Foundation surprising grant recipients in their classrooms. So is there anything else that you wanted to?
Well, I was just going to say their names.
Okay.
This is Sandy Rhodes from Columbia Elementary, and she was the winner of the proposal for handwriting helpers. And this is to help students develop fine motor skills, and her award was for $500.
Awesome. Good.
Next, we have Brandon Teal from East Middle School, I believe, yes. And he was the winner. His project was applied technology. His application was for laser equipment, which will enable the students to further investigate the engineering design process. And his grant was for $1,500. Next, we have Shannon Elias at Soaring Heights Elementary. Her project was STEM. It was awarded, the award was $2,000 for materials to design lessons and projects which will support the science curriculum. And last but not least was Darren Morgan and Heather Van Otterloo from South Middle School. They were awarded $2,000 for a project called the Weekly Digest. This project will help continue development and improvement of a student-created school-wide news broadcast. This is our second year to give out the grants, It's a great project that we've taken on. We're giving out $6,000 a year, and we do hope to grow that program.
And it enhances our students' experience and our
Absolutely.
learning in the classroom. And the next thing that we have to show is, I believe, a video that talks about the grants that was last year that are implemented this year. So now we see the fruits of these labors.
The Joplin Schools Foundation grant helped to buy some of the robots that we have behind me. They have some of the Spheros and the Dash and the Dot robots. What they're learning here in Makerspace can really help them pair with what they're learning in the classroom and also later in life with their science, technology, engineering, and math. That's that STEM field that we talk about. We had a student come the other day and he was like, what do I have to do? Are you going to tell me what projects I need to do while I'm here? And he said, no, like, we have all the supplies for you. And this is a place where you get to explore. So we want them to become the experts and to teach other kids how to use these.
This grant came about because the district had offered the ability to apply for a $2,000 grant for whatever you felt your school could benefit from. And one of the things that I was interested in was bringing an outdoor greenhouse garden to our school so the kids could experience what it looked like to grow your own food and use it in the curriculum in some way. This greenhouse will help definitely our students learn in math with measuring and science. They're going to monitor the growth of the plants and what plants need. In first grade specifically, we're studying goods and services, and so when the plants are grown, we're going to use the ability to sell that so our kids can experience what it looks like to produce something and then get consumers to come and purchase that. Good job. It'd be harder to teach this lesson without these types of supplies and the greenhouse to go and monitor because we'd be using videos, technology. We have to go out and gather those materials and donations from the community. So this just makes it easier. The plants and the flowers and food that we're growing will be used at the end of the year in a market format. So the kids get to sell it at market and then we'll use that money to replenish the greenhouse next year.
Receiving the grant provided a very unique opportunity for the forensics class students to utilize labs that were obtained based around one crime scene. So at the beginning of the semester, they were given the crime scene. They went through the evidence. Each different week, they got a new piece of evidence. And at the end of the semester, they were able to solve the crime. The grant paid for $2,000 worth of lab materials for the students to use in the forensics class. A great big thank you to the foundation for this grant. It was truly, truly a blessing. What can it do? Can it do anything fun? Awesome. Could it like go give me a cookie if I wanted one?
What else do we have for
Yeah, so the foundation, this grant really helped us to get started with our Makerspace Club. My previous district had a Makerspace.
Which helped me out
yes.
tremendously.
Yeah, and I mean, with my old district, you couldn't book a time in our Makerspace room because once teachers started to understand how you can pair it with learning and in the classroom, because I mean, for example, we're going to do our genre poetry and communication arts in there a few weeks. Because there are many different ways that students can show the way that they learn. And so when Ms. Ball wrote this grant and was talking about it, that's what really
Yeah, and so it was exciting when he came in and he's like, Makerspace, because I was trying to build the culture and nobody knew about it. So when he came in and knew about it, that really helped get it going a little bit. So we're still trying to build the other teachers' interest in, but I talked to one other that they were building game boards, and I said, that's what you needed to do in the Makerspace. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's what it's for. So we're starting to build some of that interest and get that culture going in there to start using that space more and more.
And it helps to fill that need because you know a lot of students who are hands-on learners or like building, and we have 6th, 7th, 8th graders who can be in the same room and teaching each other these different skills and working together collaboratively. You know, they show us stuff all the time, and we go, how did you figure that out? Like, there's a lot of them teaching us and teaching each other. This is a great start to it.
Oh, yeah, great start. And the more ongoing things that they'll need, the more coding applications that you need. These robots, we have 2 different types. This is one of them, that they can actually code it to do what they want it to do. So they can code it to talk to you, or it can talk back to them, or so.
Yeah, the ball ones that you saw, you can code those with how long it goes and send it through different obstacle courses, and that leads great into when we get to like Franklin Tech and that kind of stuff. And a lot of our students, I mean, I pulled Kaden out of class the other day. He's like, "This is much better than math class." Like, yes, but Kaden, no. So there are ways to pair it with the learning, and that's what we use that.
Thank you.
I wanted to mention that the Major Saver cards that we sell in the fall, that is a big piece of the fundraising that allows for these kinds of projects to take place. So don't forget to buy your Major Saver cards in the fall. And then I know you have a fun run coming up in May, I believe on the 12th. And so they are inviting anyone that would like to come out for some health and fitness and participate in the fun run. That's another opportunity for some fundraising. The other thing that our school foundation has recently done is recognize our support staff person of the year. And we have a video of when we surprised Officer Aaron Gooch at North Middle School with his announcement. So I think that's what we're going to play next. And that was quite a fun morning that we did. And I think you have a little bit to share before we call Officer Gooch forward.
I wanted to say that he is at North Middle School, but he also provides services to Columbia, Jefferson, West Central, and Cecil Floyd, or security support there. But some of the things his peers had to say about him, they said he takes time to address every individual concern. He loves our students and wants what's best for them. He's very involved with student and staff safety training, and he makes our students, parents, and staff feel safe. And one of his former administrators says he's like a giant security blanket for all of us. So on behalf of the Joplin Schools Foundation, it's an honor to recognize Officer Aaron Gooch as the outstanding support staff member and present him with a check for $500.
as well, and we have a video about Miss Katie Garber.
I absolutely fell in love with special education my very first year. I found something that I was absolutely meant to do. It makes sense to me. The way I teach the kiddos is kind of the way I think and the way I like to work, and it's a perfect fit. Nice job. Special education actually fell into my lap. It was something that I had learned about and did some hours in college for, and this was my first job offer, and I took it, and my world turned around ever since that day. So I did. I was honestly in teacher mode, is what I keep telling people. I was worried about what my kids were doing, worried about who was being quiet, you know, who was paying attention, and so hearing my name was out of my element. I wasn't expecting that at all. Like I said, I was in teacher mode, ready to worry about my kiddos at all times.
I nominated Katie Garber because I worked with her for the last 4 years and observed all of the dedication and hard work that she puts into working with her children, and I thought she deserved this honor.
Finding out my fellow teachers nominated me was very overwhelming emotionally. Actually, the next 24 hours after being nominated, I got a ton of congratulations, and it really made me think about all the people who have helped me get to this point.
She has a tremendous heart for the students. You can't find someone more passionate about what she does, and the kids that she works with each day love her just as much as she loves them.
Katie's got 12 kids in the classroom, and she works independently with each one of them to give them the best possible education that she can. Katie has the biggest heart that I've ever seen from a teacher. She goes over and above what is required of teaching in the classroom.
I'm very proud. They're absolutely my family. They're just like my own kids, so I feel like a proud mother a lot of times.
Okay, you can see why. I want to add that you heard what some of her peers said, but other things where she spends hours raising funds for special projects for her students. She's a mentor who encourages her colleagues. She has implemented several communication methods, and she opens opportunities for her students to be involved in traditional classroom programs while educating all students about the world of special education. I think that's really special. And another thing is that she speaks for those who cannot speak for themselves. So on behalf of the Fred Lass family and the Joplin Schools Foundation, it's my privilege to recognize Katie Garber as the outstanding teacher of the year.
Yes, it looks like we are to the policy committee. Deb, Jennifer, and Brent. Does anybody have a report that they can offer?
Well, we've got policies. We updated some of the personnel policies. Those are in for first read to go along with the contract that was negotiated for the teachers. The second read ones, we didn't make any changes to. Those were, I believe, statutory changes. So, and we're starting to go over our updates for this year. So.
Thank you, Jennifer. The Finance Committee, Lori, Jennifer again, and Brent.
I was the one at that meeting. And we went over salary increases, salary schedules. You'll see when you look at them, we got rid of the 0 step and we're starting at 1, and we added a step to those. Dr. Langford, the way that he'll present it, I'm sure when it comes up, was extremely understandable. I appreciate that so much. So yeah, we'll see it tonight.
Thank you again, Jennifer.
Welcome.
Superintendent's data report.
Yes, we have health and dental insurance reports and also financial statements, Dr. Langford.
Again, you have them in your packets, and we continue to follow the trend that we've been. Now we've concluded 9 months of the school year, so what's significant is that on the spending side, we're continuing to be well within the budget, and our revenue is on track. So really there's not a whole lot more that we can say relative to the fiscal side. We do have the health and the dental reports, and again, we're trending well in both of those. Our balances in the health fund continue to grow some. Our expenses are up about $500,000 as compared to the same time last year, but still the rate of revenue growth is exceeding the expenditures. So you have the information, they speak for themselves, and we feel like at this point in the school year, very positive as we move toward closure and starting new.
Very good.
Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Langford? Seeing none, we'll continue with our financial statements.
And again, I got them out of order, but still the financial statements that we do have up there. The great thing is that you're seeing, compared to I compared to last year, that we are seeing some interest that we're developing and we're seeing, and right now we're at 2.37, which in my career I've seen it at much higher, but it's sure better than the 0 that we were getting in the past. So we continue to have money invested in the Missouri School Securities Investment Program, and also the United Missouri Bank, because the uptick in the market this Fed funds rate, well, we're at least getting 1.34 there, and then we're actually exceeding that by % as far as the funds are concerned. So overall, again, it is what it is. If you look at the one page, I think that provides you the real snapshot comparing last year. So.
Thank you again, Dr. Langford. Does anybody have any questions concerning the financial statements? Moving forward with our enrollment report, Dr. Moss.
Yes, in your packet you have the enrollment report, and it's broken out by campus as well as grade level classrooms. The two main things I would point out there is that we have got an enrollment increase over this time last year of 55 students, so that is good news. And even though our ADA percentage attendance is down a bit over this time last year, it's not down quite as much as it was last month when I gave you this report. So we're making some improvement there. Right now we have a 0.0039 percentage decrease over this time last year. So we're narrowing that gap, and I hope we can continue to do so as the year progresses. So that is your enrollment report.
Hopefully flu season's over, right?
Yeah, I would have thought the flu season would significantly impact it this year because we had such a terrible flu season.
Yeah, it did last time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There was a combination of flu and the erratic weather.
Yeah.
We had more snow and ice, and then more extremely cold weather. So you throw those two in, and you consider for some students that's a barrier to getting to school.
Thank you, Dr. Moss. Are there any public comments this evening?
Yes.
Yes.
We've had a request to address the board, Elizabeth Lundstrom, and she is wishing to speak to us regarding graduation requirements pertaining to policy IKF.
Can I hand you guys something before we start? Then you can have something while I'm talking.
Thank you.
Hi.
I'll say while you're passing that out, when you approach the standing microphone, we ask you.
Here?
It'll be over here at this podium.
Okay.
that we ask that you please give your name and address. Please do not identify any district personnel or student by name or by any other identifiable information.
Okay. All right. Do I have to use the microphone? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
I do kindergarten lunch duty, so I feel like I can project fairly well. Okay, it's Elizabeth Lundstrom, and I live at 4702 Wendy Road. Good evening, Dr. Moss, and Deb, and Jennifer, Lori, Deborah, Derek, Brent, Sherrick, Dr. Gilbreth, Dr. Skeda. It has taken me many months to come to this point tonight. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening on the topic of graduation, the policy IKF. And I'm going to try to tie what I'm going to say to this policy because I do think it is part of it. I'm a parent of 3 children who have attended or attend Joplin schools. My oldest graduated in 2016. I believe it was summa cum laude. And I have a senior graduating this year, and I have a 10th grader. My 10th grader was just inducted into National Honor Society, and education is very important to me and my husband. We both went back for advanced degrees in our 40s. It should be obvious because I am here tonight, and I am trembling. My heart is palpitating. I feel like I'm just going to faint here at the podium. I believe I am an involved parent. I encourage my children to strive for excellence. My children had wonderful teachers all the way from elementary through high school. And they have communicated with me through parent conferences, email, and phone calls. I've had several discussions in the past few months with administration regarding the situation with my senior. Graduation with honors is a challenging and rigorous coursework for kids above and beyond the graduation of 25 credits. A student must have 27 credits plus some special coursework, GPA, to graduate with honors. One of those components is foreign language. When Dr. Moss and I visited recently, she categorized the medal, the cords, and the stamp on the diploma as externals, which is nice, but that doesn't really mean anything in comparison to my child's accomplishments. I wanted to make sure each of you had a copy of my child's grade card, because in 4 years of high school, he has only had 1 B, and that was in advanced calculus. Dr. Moss has generously bestowed upon me and my child accolades for a job well done. My son has achieved a 4.2 GPA. He is ranked 15th of 506 students. And he will graduate with 29.25 credits. However, honors will elude him for graduation. You see, as a 16-year-old student, he was allowed to make the decision he did not want to take a foreign language class. But I was not part of that conversation. When my kid says, I don't want to go to school today, I say, you're going to school. If my kid says, I don't want to do homework, you're doing homework. That's my job as a parent. My kids attend school, they do their homework, and they have a hard work ethic. This information is located in the student handbook online. I was just supposed to inherently know where to find this information. After finding out this information that my child would not graduate with honors at the end of January, I believe it was about January 25th or 26th of his senior year, I spoke with administration. After spring break, on March 27th, my son was offered to complete 2 years of foreign language on Edgenuity, giving him approximately 7.5 weeks to complete the courses. After reviewing the information, I liken this to a minimum wage employee being asked to work 3 more hours after the shift is ended, but without pay. It was a Herculean task that was probably not possible to accomplish, but the district can say it was offered to him. I would like to openly challenge any board member to take the task of completing 2 Spanish classes in 7.5 weeks. It would be a great way to gauge the realistic level of this proposition. I have spoke at great length to encourage the district and policy committee to revisit this requirement, as it may no longer have relevance in college acceptance or even degree achievement. Many colleges are even allowing students to substitute courses for foreign language. I will not be parent shamed, nor will I tolerate my child being berated for making a decision that would affect his graduation with honors. My intent on coming here this evening is to request the Board of Education as well as the Policy Committee to take action on this issue, if not for my son, but for future students at Joplin High School. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Lundstrom.
Thank you
very much.
That moves us down to the consent agenda. I believe that we've moved item 3E off of that agenda. Otherwise, do we have a motion to approve the agenda, that consent agenda?
We approve.
Derek? And Deb seconded. Any discussion? Being none, please vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. On to the regular agenda. JEC Prime Contract Change Order number 15, Crossland. Dr. Saketa.
Okay, we have a few changes we want to talk to you about, and Dave's up here to visit with you, give you a little bit more detail. Changes are getting more minor at this time, although we got some news that we might be able to spend a little bit more money out of the contingency and everything we had because of the way the grant is structured. So it's possible we might be able to do some different things. That's not a part of tonight, but I thought we would give you a heads up about that. That's possible for another meeting to maybe do some enhancements or some improvements. Well, about improvements, it's a pretty darn nice place, right? Enhancements or something new and different that might be able to help us do some different things. So I'll let Dave talk to you.
So we're bringing to you tonight a prime contract change order with 3 items on that totaling $2,555.18. The first change order is the biography plaques that were installed were difficult to read. We have reworked that with the architect to make those more visually appealing and the ability to read that, both those biographies of the 2 wonderful ladies that we were able to do the naming after. The second is the surface mount, the Dutch door latches, which occur in the restrooms of each one of the classroom spaces. With the, if you noticed before, we have the pinchless guards on the hinge side, but because of that, it puts a little extra tug on the door, and so what happens is instead of the horse being able to stick its head out the top of the door, the kids can walk under, but the adults have a little more difficulty with that, so we thought it prudent to latch the tops of the doors back so that the restrooms would still be accessible for all. And then we wanted to add an intercom in room B106, which is the physical therapy room. It was not necessarily seen as a classroom at the time, but we did find after a move-in and just a couple of days that that needed to be taken care of so that they still have contact with the office and the office has contact with them. So we're bringing that tonight to you for a total of $2,555.18. And that will bring our total with the contingency, with adoption of that, to just a little over $123,000.
That's what we have left in the contingency?
That's what's left in the contingency budget, yes.
Great job.
Do we,
there it is. At the end of March, $126,016.70 question mark cents. And then just a little over $123,000 if you adopt this evening.
Is there a certain time we have to spend that out before that has to be closed out?
We're going to need to confirm that. The original date of that was by July 1.
And
My understanding.
Excuse me, that's the next question, if we do some enhancements to the building because of the ability to maybe spend a little more money. That's the big question, as far as when.
Because we need to spend it or lose it.
Yes.
And the contingency has to be spent at the early childhood development?
Yeah.
Yes, for the
Within-
original
Within the
purpose.
footprint
okay.
of the CDBG funded area, yes.
Okay.
And that has to be attached.
Mhm.
Within the,
Sorry.
yeah.
The fence?
There's- Part of the property that you might think is the property of the footprint is not like out in the parking lot or the grass space in between right up there. It's really a confined area that we have to spend it.
You have some ideas on what you want?
Yes.
Excellent. It's a great problem
We're
to
checking.
have.
Let's spend this bit first. Do I hear a motion?
So moved. Or, Laura?
No, go ahead.
I'll second.
Did Derek Gander moved and Brent Jordan seconded? Is there any discussion? Jen, go ahead and vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Dave.
And by the way, the grand opening was
amazing,
great, and the building is beautiful. You did a great job with that.
I can
Thank
tell
you.
that the process, without fail, has been one of the most rewarding, smoothest running that I've been involved with, and it was due to a great team effort, great contractor, great architect, great staff in that building, and we certainly are proud and happy to present that for the district as well as for the community.
Awesome.
You were the right person at the right time. Thank you.
Yes. I would like to echo that. Dave set up meetings on a weekly basis throughout the year, so we were talking, and especially Dave was talking to the contractor, the architect, and whoever all in between, and subs, and also Dave was out there weekly, and I marveled how smooth it went. You know, as we continue, but I'm very proud, and I really appreciate Dave's staff also as well, making sure, and Mindy Sinclair's staff, they did a wonderful job of the move-in, so we're real
Well,
proud.
coming in
Thank you.
budget too is
Yes.
a rare thing, so good job with that.
Fantastic comments. JHS Summer Cheer Camp, Dr. Saketa.
Okay, Matt Hyatt is here. Our cheerleaders, it's pretty important that they go to camp every year. It's that they need to sharpen their skills and get ready and get their routines going for each year. And Matt's had several years of experience with this, so I'll let him kick it off.
But can you do a herky?
No, that's not something you want. That would be anyway, you have in front of you an action item requesting permission for our cheerleaders to attend a cheer camp held at the Great Wolf Lodge in Kansas City, Kansas. Actually, that's where they will stay, but the actual cheer camp, they will be bused to area high schools in the area. This is something that we have done for the past several years, as long as I've been here anyway. As Dr. Saketa said, it's important for them for several reasons. Number one, it's a great team building experience for them. You know, we'll have 17 freshman cheerleaders this year that went to 3 different middle schools, and this is a good time for them to get together, get to know each other, as well as the older cheerleaders on the team. Also, that's where they begin to plan their routines, and also safety is a big focus as well at these camps, which I like when it comes to stunting and that type of thing. The cost, $20,196, I should note, is an up to number, depending on exactly how many girls go, if everyone's able to go with vacations and that type of thing, as well as lodging. We don't know when we make our reservations if we'll be able to get 6 girls in a room, if they have those rooms left, or whether we'll have to have some 4-person rooms. So that's not an exact number, that's a not to exceed number. And this will be paid for from our activity account, which is separate from our budget money that is paid for by the school. So this will be paid for by the cheerleaders, and we have given them a fundraising option, which they are currently working on right now, to fundraise that cost, or they have the option, as I'm sure you know, that have athletes and kids in activities. Some people prefer not to do fundraising, and it's easier for them just to pay it. So all of this money will be either fundraised or paid for by the cheerleaders themselves.
I'll move we approve the JHS cheer camp.
I'll second.
Moved by Jennifer, seconded by Derek. Is there any discussion? Being none,
you can't
please
get
vote.
in.
Yes.
He's on a roll.
I'm on a roll. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
Archery team to compete in the national competition. Dr. Gilbert.
Okay, the Joplin High School archery team, under the direction of Mr. Adam Bell, is simply asking for permission to travel to Louisville, Kentucky to compete in a national tournament. They'll do all the fundraising themselves at an estimated cost of about $8,500. They fundraise all year for this, barbecued ribs and all kinds of stuff, and so it's fully funded by them, and they do quite well every year. And so they're asking for permission to travel to Louisville, Kentucky from May 11th through the 13th to compete in the National Archery Tournament.
Thank you, Dr. Gilbert. Do we have a motion?
I'll
Yes.
move.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Lori.
Lori, I was trying.
Lori
Go ahead.
moves. Deb
I'll
seconded.
move. Yes, that'll work.
Deborah Gould. Any conversation on this? Discussion? There being none, please vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. And next on our agenda is FTC Adult Trade and Technology HVAC Student Tool Sets. Dr. Gilbert again.
Okay, so Mark Lynch is here this evening. He wants to talk about the tools for the HVAC students that they will be purchasing from Charles D. Jones, Johnston Supply, and Mid-South Appliance for a fair amount of cash.
$17,600. The money is from fees that we draw from the students, so it does come out of the Joplin school budget. There are 11 guys in HVAC. This gives them a tool set for about $1,600 that has a lot of hand tools and saws and meters and some recovery units for air conditioning, and that way they can get out there in the world and make a living.
Pretty impressive list that were presented here in our item. Anybody had a chance to read through it? Is there a motion to approve this expenditure?
So moved.
Thank you, Derek. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jennifer. Discussion? Being none, please vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, we're being requested to get a bathroom break. I certainly doubt there's any opposition. I don't know that that requires a motion other than people running for the door. So
Never
let's do
miss an
that.
opportunity.
Take 5.
This year, the collective bargaining agreement was opened for discussion, not just about salary, but the entire agreement. It was a great process. It ran very smooth, and we were able to come to an agreement, and it was ratified actually the evening of our last board meeting. Correct. And so, Crystal, do you have anything you would like to share?
First of all, this is our third year actually going to the table with both our team, and I am so sorry it's that busy time of year and no one can make it. So usually I have this whole side full. And everyone, I asked the team, what do you want me to tell, the board? And they were like, this was the best bargaining session we've had in 3 years. And we really appreciate the time and effort that the entire admin team came to the table and were willing to listen and to negotiate and to see both sides and tell us why. And I think that's a most important part of building the helpful culture that we are working towards, is tell us why and explain why, and also come meet us halfway. And this year you did wholeheartedly. And we did go to ratification on 28th, and we had a unanimous yes vote from everyone that came. And I brought it to every single school, to the membership, and they were in the same tone of thank you, because admin's coming to us and asking how can they help us and how can we be better teachers. So I appreciate your time for doing that, and we're just going forward. We're excited.
Great.
Great.
Thank you.
And so included as part of the agreement as an exhibit is the salary schedule for teachers. And so that is included here, and a fiscal note within the action item indicates that the implementation of the proposed agreement would have a total cost of an estimated $1,111,059. That includes the salary increase, which is an estimated $1,054,306, and then an estimated $56,753 for an additional personal day for all of our certified staff members.
That's
and
awesome.
So the recommendation tonight would be that the board approve the superintendent or a designee to sign the agreement with the Joplin National Education Association as presented, including the new salary schedule, and that and we also recommend that the board operate the salary schedule for the 2018-19 school year.
Thank you, Ashley. Does anybody have a motion that would support Ashley's recommendation?
I will move.
Thank you, Lori.
I'll second.
And seconded by Derek. Is there any discussion?
I would like to say thank you for getting rid of the 0 step.
That
Yes.
was,
Whoever did that,
we
thank
asked
you.
and they listened, so
And
thank you.
for,
And the extra personal day.
yes.
Well, and they adjusted it also so that you could move across if the teachers improve their, get more units, right? With masters.
That's actually part of a policy revision and not part of the agreement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's policy.
And is the sick leave pulled
It's
out?
still possible.
But it's still good, yeah.
There's a discussion, and again, this is where they listened and came to us with we're gonna meet you halfway. So that's something that will come up in the next 12 months, that you guys will have that discussion about sick pool. And I think it will be more effective and useful for our staff when that comes about. Also addressing the 0 step, thank you, because that's a big deal, and that shows the worth and time and effort. And I also want to note that something that we had an open discussion and with all teachers is the grade out area, and Dr. Langford went above and beyond and really found a way to work with us on that. So thank you, truly.
I do have a question. There were a couple years where teachers didn't move their step because of budget, and we have a handful of teachers that have stuck with us and not abandoned us. So did we put back in, like if they've taught 14 years, they are really on step 14, or if they've taught 14 years, are they really still back on 11 or 12, depending on the number of years?
Typically, when school districts freeze a salary schedule, they do not make multiple jumps to catch up, because that would take away the ability to improve the salary schedule. So the answer to that, I mean, if you did that, then the raises would have been less. So at the end of the day, you have to make a decision which way you're going to go. So we didn't.
I just didn't know if that was a discussion item or not. so.
Do you mind if I add to that? And what we saw as a positive with the grayed out area? When we came, we had everything on the table. This is our concerns. In the grade area, you can see if a staff member is hired on after 2006-07, they only start at year 10, and that's been lifted to go to 11, which I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is, because that's where the increase happens. And also, if you see last year, it was they ungrade an area, so they were able to go to an additional step when they were actually frozen. If they came in on year 10 in 06-07, they've been stuck there unless they went higher in their education and received a master's. So that does show there has been a definite conversation and a lot of work on Dr. Langford's part on looking at how we address those issues. So we may have not received all the steps that we may have wanted to get, but we understand, again, I go back to the why. Why can we not? You're absolutely right. We need to look at the massive staff that we are looking, that have come in and stayed with us, but also when you start looking at the numbers, it's a smaller amount in that grayed out area than there is in the masters, and they've been able to grow every year in the last 3 years. So we address that too. We have that concern too, and so thank you for bringing that up.
Well, we have a motion and a second.
The only thing I would
Yes.
say, and it's my fault, I don't know, I didn't realize, but on that one column that's got the cents, those are all rounded off on that salary schedule. I'm thinking, what am I looking at here? So I gave you a vote on the, going down to the step increase per amount. Going down, go past the next one.
Oh, I see.
Go past the next one. Just round those off. But what we want to do is show you, our goal was, in your salary schedule, you have an issue at your beginning pay and attracting new people, beginning teachers. That's critical, but then also at the top end. So we've been able the last 2 years to spread the gap so that we could get more with your more veteran teachers, and this reflects what we were able to do.
Well, I want to thank the administrative team for negotiating, because it's not been a pleasant process.
In the past.
So thank you guys for what you did.
Dr. Langford was with us 100% last year, and this year with Ashley on board, it's been a beautiful process, and we really do appreciate all the time. And I was at Dr. Skeda also came to every session, so it truly has been a collaborative and very peaceful negotiation. So I appreciate it, truly I do. Of course, my team would, if they were here, they would say the same thing. They just couldn't show up tonight. So.
Well, let's do this thing. Let's vote.
Yes.
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 Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Congratulations
awesome.
to everyone.
Thank you.
Updated compensation agreement between JESP and Joplin Schools. Dr. Langford and Ashley again.
Yes. Sherry, would you like to come on up? Sherry Virgin is here tonight, and she is the president of JESP. And so this year, the collective bargaining agreement for JESP was just open to discuss salary. And so Dr. Langford worked on a presentation of that schedule, and we were able to share that with them in March, and they ratified on the 14th of this month, so agreed to that. And what it includes is an estimated increase of $131,361.26 for the fiscal year 2019 operating budget. And so the schedule is included in your packet. Sherry, do you have anything you'd like to share?
No, I'd just like to share as well that we had, unlike last year, we had a great experience this year. We brought what we wanted to the table, and then, you know, we were countered with what the district could, you know, would let us have. The only thing that we have open right now is that we are in the process of bringing bus aids to the bargaining table. So we're looking into that now, but the experience this time was great. And we're just looking forward to next year.
Very good.
So the recommendation this evening is that the board approve the superintendent or designee to sign the agreement with the Joplin Education Support Professionals as presented, amending the current agreement to include the updated salary schedule and a recommendation to the board to operate the schedule for the 2018-19 school year.
Thank you, Ashley. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Thank you, Lori and Derek. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion on this matter? Being none, please vote.
Yes.
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 Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Accounts payable, Dr. Langford.
Well, we slid into the agenda early, and I wasn't ready for the budget presentation. I mean, we were having these great kids and everything. I did want to introduce to you Shelley Toft, which I did not. Shelley, would you stand up, and would you give that speech that you prepared? But
happy to be here and excited to try to fill those big shoes in Susan's.
Shelley is coming new to the staff of our administration and accounting, and we look forward to her. Are you already with us? Or?
She started a week ago Monday, and she's been drinking water from a fire hose. And she had to go and spend the meeting, and driving home, of course, I'm driving a vehicle, couldn't figure out how to turn the air conditioner on till Main Street, Joplin. So, you know, they had a stressful day. No wonder they were tired when they got back. But Shelley is, we have a lot of work that we have to get done between now and July 1st, and coding changes. That's why we were in Springfield today. But we had some great discussion kind of going, but we're going to start getting some things together. We've got a lot of work to do, but I will tell you that I have slept better since she has come on staff. So.
That's fantastic. Welcome.
You're welcome. Welcome, Shelley.
As far as the accounts payable, the information is before you. And because this is an early meeting, we don't have quite as many on there, but you say, well, $1.2 million. But I look at that and I think, boy, that's a lot of money. We're spending a lot of money on copy paper and all that. But if you take out, you put in mind that we are paying retirement to our staff because these are checks or payments that are issued. We're paying federal withholding out of this. We're paying dental and health checks as far as claims are concerned. And then also just the way we process the payments that are made by the district to the health fund and then the employees make. So a lot of that is just internal movement. It's not all outflow that's out of the district. So there's nothing that I detect that's unusual. And again, I keep going back. If you look at our accounts payable trend for the year, I'd recommend that you approve the accounts payable list that we've given you. If you have questions, I'd be glad to answer those.
Thank you, Dr. Langford. Is there a motion to approve accounts payable?
I'll move that we approve the payment of bills in the amount of $1,214,674.36.
Thank you, Brent. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jennifer. Is there any discussion? Being none, please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, thank you. Rooftop units. We got some air conditioning going on at North Middle School. Dr. Schiketta?
Yes, as you would expect, we are constantly looking at the age of our units that we have, and we have a plan in the next 2 or 3 years to take care of several more throughout the district. And this one particular school, North, I believe when we did the addition and the remodeling back, going on 8 or 9, 10 years ago now, some of those were replaced at the time, but we have some that were not, so they will take a while.
We're bringing to you tonight, we've received sealed bids, and those bids are posted there, and we are looking to recommend to accept the bid from CDL Electric for $234,267.94. That replaces 32 rooftop units at North Middle School.
It's a bunch.
It's a bunch.
A bunch of units.
When will this be done? Will this be done over the summer?
We will schedule this to be done this summer, but it will be from the 18-19 capital outlay budget.
This was just not when kids are there is what I was wondering.
Yes, yes. We will wait actually till after summer school.
Okay, that's right.
Since summer school is going to be held at North Middle School. Completion date is between, I believe, July the 2nd and August the 8th.
And if you recall, in February, I believe it was, we came in and talked to you about the capital outlay budget for this purpose, so that you can have planning, so this is staged, so that when school is out, rather than waiting till now and then when school gets started, you have the job half finished. So
It gives us opportunity with our contractors and vendors to get things scheduled rather than waiting much longer. We get early in on the schedule so we can pick the times rather than being whatever's left.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Derek. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Brent. Is there any discussion? Being none, please vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. This is exciting. Acceptance of bids for Emerson and South Middle School lots. Dr. Chiquetta.
Yes, as you know, we put several properties up for bid last month, and we got bids back. We were able to receive bids back. We had one bidder, Letford Construction, and they bid on both the Emerson large property and the Old South large property. We did not receive any bids on the small little parcels next to each school. And we did not receive any bids on the Duquesne property, but we did receive bids on these properties right here. So I would really suggest that, recommend that we approve this. These are very good bids. We really appreciate the efforts that the construction company put behind it, and I'm sure they have long-term plans to do some good things in those areas. So,
For the public's knowledge, I might mention that the bid for Emerson is $48,000. Our minimum request was $40,000. The bid for South Middle School lots is $80,000. Our minimum bid request there was $36,000. So those seem like fair and reasonable bids.
That's right. Very fair, very reasonable. And we are checking the closing fees right now. We're getting quotes from different title companies in town, and we'll be trying to work up a sale agreement and with the closing costs very soon if this is approved.
Do we have a motion to permit the sales of these two lots?
I'll move we accept the bids for Emerson and South Middle School lots.
Thank you, Jennifer. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Derek. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? There being none, let's please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you all. I will mention that as part of that, it appears that the buyer will be assuming all buyer-related closing costs, which I think Dr. Skidder is referring to. But,
yes.
That's part of what is noted here. So, policies for first reading approval. Dr. Moss.
Yes, you have those before you, and administration recommends first reading approval of the policies as presented.
I'll move that we approve the policies as presented.
Thank you, Lori. Is that motion on all of the policies?
Mm-hmm.
So item 10 has been moved. Is it seconded?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the policies? There being none, I ask that you vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you. Is there a motion to close? I believe that's all.
I have a question. Can I
please,
just
Lori.
ask one question?
Yeah.
While Carrie's here, maybe Dave too. Can we just give an update to the public on Columbia?
Oh,
Yes.
yes. We'd be happy to. Columbia. We are still awaiting a third-party engineer's, unless they heard something today that I didn't, final report on exactly what it will be for us to do so that we can get bids from contractors and even local engineers as necessary. So the architect that had worked with us on that project in the past had secured a third party. I can't remember, was it Arizona? Where we're from, the engineer was from Arizona, and he's working up something, and I thought we would know by now, but even at the minute we get the information, we're going to have to put bid specs together. In fact, they're writing bid specs as well, if I remember correct, for us, so that we can put it out to bid to get it fixed. We the short answer is we're going to have to put piers, micro piers, I believe is the name, is the correct term, under the southeast corner of the gymnasium, of the safe room, I should say, safe room. We alerted all the parents, or at least Shelley Lundeen did, through a statement that we put together. And then also we went ahead and sent notification, Ashley sent notification to as many people around the community that we could as well, to notify them to go to West Central or Jefferson. In fact, also Royal Heights. Yeah, Royal Heights, because depending on where people live. So we wanted them to know, and it's on our website as well. So and then Dave and I went over to work with Shelley. Of course, you know that building better than anybody. And we went back to the old locations as much as possible and tried to make sure that, that there was clearance for heads and all those kind of things downstairs. And then we looked for what we believe through Jim Hounshell's assistance too, what the best locations were, for as many kids as we could. So we had a team effort over there and we discussed that. So I believe Shelley feels pretty good about where we're at this point, Obviously, we'd like to have the safe room back, but it's not looking good to have it for tornado season. Or at least what we think is tornado season.
Carrie, will that be a district cost to repair?
So I was just going to ask.
And it's just because?
Because of, to catch you up, there was soil that the engineers believe that was dug out and put in, new soil was put in, and they believe the mixture of the new soil with the old soil that was there in a basement area. They believe there was a house there 100 years ago, okay? And so when they built the school eventually and churned up the ground and all this, whatever, but by the time they dug back in there, there was some unsettled soil. I don't know, I can't remember the exact term they used. They did compact the soil to over 95 to 96% compaction, which is industry standard, but they believe that that's what's moved a little bit. Right now, there's no indication that mining is the reason, because they oriented the building to stay away from the mining. So they believe it's unsettled soil. What was the correct term? Unsuitable. Unsuitable. Oh, sorry, close. Unsuitable soil. So the mixture of the soil that was there and the soil that they brought in, they believe was.
And because they did everything to industry standards, then they have no liability for it.
That's yes. Okay. Where we're at right now.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you. With that, I will move that we move into closed session pursuant to RISMO Section 610.021 for legal action involving the district, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting of particular employees, and I believe that's it. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, thank you, Derek. Assuming there's no discussion, please vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Are we still?